Welcome to On the Job with Shed,
where we'll dive into some of the many careers here at Shed Aquarium.
Join us as we try to answer,
or at least start to consider,
the question everyone is asking us.
What career do you want to explore?
Hi, I'm Assis.
and I'm Ivan.
And we're here with Sarah Amon and Lindsay Young from Shed's Design and Exhibits team.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm Shed's Senior Exhibit Designer.
I'm Lindsay Young. I'm a senior graphic designer here at Shed, and Sarah and I are on a team that designs colorful signs, videos, digital animated IDs, and much more that make up the exhibits around the aquarium.
So Sarah, is design really a desk job?
So there's a lot of computer work involved, but it's not all a desk job. So one of my favorite things is actually being able to go on the construction site while I'm here. I gotta review physical samples, I need to evaluate if the designs are being built to our satisfaction. Spoiler alert, there's always unexpected issues. So that's why it's really important to not only work in the digital space, but the physical space as well. And those are skills that Lindsay and I use every day.
I had no idea that design involved more than just colorful graphics.
Oh, 110%. So as the senior exhibit designer, I'm involved in all parts of the process, from ideation all the way through to production. So I spend a lot of my time on the computer, of course, but I also really enjoy the physical aspect of my work. So when we're designing things on the computer, we also have to build them and test them. So we're testing prototypes, we're evaluating sample materials. Sometimes we have to take research trips, which is really fun. And of course, inspect the construction on site. There's a ton of variety.
Wow, there's a lot that goes into this. Do you do it all on your own, or do you get help?
Oh, yes, collaboration is huge. I spend a big part of my day working across departments. For example, we might be doing a graphic about a red-footed tortoise, and I need a specific photo for this interpretive sign. So I'm gonna grab our photographer and reach out to our animal team and stage a photo shoot to get just the picture that we need. We also will interview experts, both internally and externally, for interpretive content. And you have to be a good researcher, along with a good designer.
Yeah, we definitely wear a lot of hats in this job. I'm always working with Sarah and her team. As a graphic designer, I have a hand in everything from t-shirt designs to digital ticketing kiosks to the ShedGo app and the digital animal IDs. A lot of my day is spent doing UX design, so figuring out who's using our products and what they need to have a good experience. The goal is for a user to know that if they see a yellow square, that's going to be a button, and they can easily and intuitively understand how to get through an experience without having to spend a lot of time learning the interface. One of my passions is accessibility. I learned a lot about it in university, and I've been able to push our accessibility agenda a little bit further here at Shed. I've continued to learn on the job here, and I love doing user testing with users, as Sarah said, to learn how they interact with our interfaces, not only for abled users, but also for disabled users who are using additional tools like screen readers.
So we've heard your favorite parts of the job, but what specifically brought you guys to Shed? Sarah, why don't you go ahead?
So I realized that I wanted to work in the animal space when I was a teen volunteer at a zoo in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But the path to becoming an exhibit designer wasn't totally clear because it's really a comparatively new field. At first I wanted to go into something like zoology, but I realized that's not the only way to work at a zoo or aquarium. Someone's got to design all those cool graphics and exhibits. So I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in graphic design, and my first job out of college was actually working at the in-house design team at Discovery, so designing graphic assets for their different networks like Animal Planet and Discovery Channel. So after a year of really good experience there, I decided to get my master's in museum exhibition design. Now, I knew I specifically wanted to work with zoos and aquariums and parks, because that's the space where I could combine my love for everything nature and animals with my skills in design. So after my master's, I worked for a design firm called PGAV Destinations, which specializes in designing tourist destinations like museums, theme parks, resorts, zoos, aquariums, etc. Very wide range of work. So I ended up here at Shed because I really wanted to immerse myself in just one institution's mission and be right here where the animals are, which is probably my favorite part of the job.
That's really cool.
How about you, Lindsay?
It was kind of the same for me. At the time I went to school, there wasn't a specific degree or classes in UX design, which is what I spend a lot of my time doing now at Shed. So my degree is actually in industrial design. Industrial design allowed me to think both in terms of the physical interfaces that people interact with and the digital interfaces that were becoming more and more prevalent when I was in school. When I left school, the jobs that were mostly available were graphic design positions. So I did a decent amount of job hopping at different consultancies and tech startups before I landed a position at Shed as an intern. Taking the internship might have seemed like a step back in my career journey on the outset, but it was the best decision I ever made. I worked my way up from an intern to a freelancer, to a part-timer, and then a full-time position, and now I'm a senior designer. The fact that Shed does such a wide breadth of work has really been a key part of my decision to stay here for most of my career.
It's really interesting how you both are on the same team but took very different paths to get here. So what advice would you all give to someone who is aspiring to work at Shed?
Well, I mentioned that I started as an intern here. I actually started out by just shooting an email to my now boss. So it doesn't hurt to try. Find out who's working in the field that you're interested in and shoot them an email.
What's the coolest animal fact you've learned while working here?
I think it's really cool that octopus can move each of their 2,000 plus suckers independently.
That's so cool.
It's really cool.
What's the best part of the job?
Other than meeting the animals.
I mean, we've talked about a lot of technical stuff, right? But I mean, one of the really fun things is going downstairs and drawing the animals from life. It's one of the perks of working here.
Thank you to Sarah and Lindsay for taking the time to tell us about their careers, what their days are like, and their experience at Shed on the design and exhibits team. Watch all the episodes of Shed's career series
To learn about other careers at Shed.
Because it's never too early to start thinking about your answer to the question.
What career do you want to explore?